welcome guys to another edition of the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Steven here with Dan.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Music today, of course, again by Division 1.1. That is the track off their album With a Vengeance. The song is called With a Vengeance.
Yeah, song title track, which is pretty awesome. Nice to the wall.
If you're interested in their music, you can find it at a website. It's called cdbaby.com. Do a quick search for Division 1.1. Their With a Vengeance album plus their self-titled album will be available on there for download. I believe it's like iTunes, 99 cents a song. Divisional round is over.
Yeah, that was fun day. Fun 2 days. That was
better than the wildcard weekend.
Yeah, much better.
Today we're going to do a little different since there's only 2 games this weekend, football-wise. Today we're going to make our transition into the rest of the sports world. No more just football. Because we want to keep doing the show for you guys, because you guys want to keep listening. So today we're going to talk about the local New Jersey sports teams, basketball, hockey. We'll even throw in a little baseball.
Not so much baseball yet.
Not so much. I mean, some players are going to start going to camp soon. It's almost February 1st. A lot of players start heading up. It also helps that hockey's finally back and the lockout's over.
Finally.
So I'm personally excited about that. Another quick shout out to Gracie. Thank you for making our official logo.
Absolutely. Thank you, Gracie. Good job.
Really appreciate it. We finally have the logo. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, we kept it nice and simple and crisp and clean, so that was cool.
Also, quickly, just a reminder about the schmucksports.com.
Yeah, a lot of good articles. I enjoy reading what comes out of Keith and Joe's mouth next.
We also have some other ones, some other people who have joined in to help out with the website. Thank you to everybody who's helping out with that website, making it a success. It's only been up a couple of weeks, but
yeah, slow progress, but we're getting there, and it's going to be awesome.
I've been talking to Keith, and he said things couldn't be better for the first couple of weeks. We're very excited. I know I'm working on a couple of hockey articles. I know Dan's considering doing some baseball articles. Yeah. We're all helping out. We also do our show, as you guys know, is on the site every week. We enjoy doing it, so check out schmucksports.com. It's sports for and by schmucks.
Hey, who are you calling a schmuck?
I'm allowed to call people schmucks.
Hey. Anyway, it's a good site. I go there daily, checking in new articles. Everybody's doing their thing, so give it a shot.
One thing Dan and I are going to try and do is every time they post an article on their the Twitter page, Keith and Joe, our Twitter page is going to retweet it so that our followers can follow it as well. So make sure you check out our Twitter page at Snd_podcast. Also like us on Facebook, the Snd Podcast Show on the Schmuck Sports Network. We have a packed show today. We're going to review last week's division round. We're going to preview the championship round.
Preview hockey.
Three teams back-to-back years.
Yeah.
In the championship round. Mm-hmm. We're going to do a nice little preview on hockey.
Rangers, Devils, and Islanders.
I know I've paid attention to a lot of the players who went overseas, a lot of things on Twitter, and just reading up on things because I missed hockey a lot. Also, we'll talk a little basketball. Knicks with a nice win in London.
Yeah. Cheerio.
Why you go to London in the middle of a season?
Yeah, it was weird. It came out of nowhere. I was like, they're going to London?
Yeah, I was on StubHub a couple weeks ago looking for tickets, and they were offering by the pound.
Oh. Interesting.
So like I said, we have a packed show
Also,
tonight.
the rosters came out today.
Yes, the starters. Starters only were announced.
I'm gonna get to that when we get there. I have a little bone to pick.
Also, later in the show, Dan will give his thoughts on the Manti Te'o situation.
Speechless. It gets stranger by the moment.
Until he comes out and says what he has to say, he needs to come out and clarify everything.
All right, let's kick off the.
Let's talk divisional round.
Welcome back, guys. This is the Sndpodcast. You just heard With a Vengeance by Division 1.1. We're going to start talking about the first game of the division round, which actually was the best game out of the four.
Ravens at Broncos.
That game was epic. That's all.
All I remember is I was at work, and I was leaving about 6 o'clock. Broncos were driving. And it was under 2 minutes in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
And all I remember is halfway home I realized, I was like, wait, why didn't I put the game on the radio? So I clicked it on real quick, and next thing I knew, the Ravens were driving.
T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton's on the Colts.
Oh, sorry. It's a long day. It's, what's his face?
Torrey Smith.
Kobe Jones. I'm talking about the... Alright, sorry. Well, I'm a mess right now.
Yeah.
You got the kickoff return and the punt return.
Yeah.
What's his...
I know who you're talking about. Champ Bailey got beat a lot.
Yeah, he got toasted.
That was really the difference in the game. But was it Hillman? No. Holiday.
Oh my god, that's so bad.
So like I was saying, the Broncos were driving, and I figured they were up 21-7 or 21-14 at this point. They're driving, and they're going to put it in the books. 28-14 going into half. Next thing you know, I'm about to pull in the house. I click it on. Our halftime score is 21-21.
Untouched.
But Holiday had a great day. He started the game off with a punt return of 90 yards.
Yeah, I was doing some errands. So I was like, alright, I'll miss the first minute of the game. I walk into the living room. There's 7-0. I was like, what? Oh, damn it. It's a punt return. That's always the worst.
He is the first player in NFL history to have two of 90-plus yards also.
Yeah. He was... Oh, man.
He had a great day.
I'm watching the highlights again right now on NFL.com. Joe Flacco just airing it out. Champ, what are you doing, bud?
We'll get to the previews later, but just think about this. If he could do that against the Bronco defense... Think about what he could do against the Patriot awful pass defense.
I also want to talk about how another year Peyton won and quote unquote one and done in the playoffs. He didn't have it. He didn't have that great of a game.
Since you're talking about that, would you consider Peyton Manning a regular season quarterback?
Yeah.
Like a Jim Kelly and Dan Marino, but he won a ring?
Yeah. Because
he can't win the big game. He has not won in the playoffs. Basically.
If we're going to rank quarterbacks like that, it's not fair. But if we're going to do that comparison, he would be above the two of them.
Because he has a ring.
He has that ring. But... other than that 1 year, all his losses were excruciating.
You know, Flacco is only 2 wins away from tying him.
Yeah.
Playoff wins.
But Flacco, see, that's the thing. Flacco sucks majority of the time during the year. He'll have a couple games like, where the hell is this? And then another game, just completely dog poop.
Right.
But in the playoffs, he shows up. He's taken the Ravens to the championship game twice. Both of them on the road, unfortunately. Well, this is his third. But I'm talking about the first time, his rookie year, when he took them to Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh won. And the year they beat the Cardinals in the Super Bowl.
Okay.
That was his rookie, and that
wasn't
year.
His rookie year.
That was his rookie year.
No.
Yes. Yes, it was.
Wasn't he No, he was Matt Ryan's rookie class. That was Matt Ryan's rookie class.
It was his rookie year.
Okay.
I remember.
Okay.
He has that... Him and Eli are similar. Eli is a little bit more better, but they both have that cool gene. Like, especially in the playoffs, he's like, alright, let me just sling it. It was amazing how he definitely has the strongest arm in the league.
No question about it. And advantage him, he'll get paid this year for it.
Oh, if he goes to the Super Bowl, he's getting paid regardless.
Which we'll talk to about later on. Another interesting about him, Delaware again. Guy's from New Jersey.
No, yeah, it's awesome. He originally was supposed to go to Pitt, and he got transferred. That's why everybody's like, Delaware? Really? But that's why he got more playing time.
He was drafted in 2008.
Yeah.
He hasn't gone a year without a playoff spot.
Yep. He's clutch.
He hasn't gone a year without a playoff. Granted, if you really want to compare him and Peyton, he's always had a defense.
Oh, yeah.
Peyton's never really had anything.
I'm not comparing them to Peyton, but he outplayed Peyton last week. Without a doubt.
You saw the signs of the neck surgeries out of Peyton.
Yeah.
He had no arm strength.
It was also 18 degrees out.
Yeah, but he had no arm strength because of the surgery. They said it. That's why he had to wear gloves, because he didn't have a grip. So he couldn't throw the ball downfield, which is also Peter King's article Monday actually has Peyton saying that it was his decision to run the ball under 2 minutes. It was his idea to audible it because he didn't think he can throw it for the first down.
Yeah.
He took the ball out of his own hands because he didn't feel it.
Yeah. John Fox has gotten a lot of heat for...
You're giving it to John Fox, but Peyton said it himself that he needs to be blamed for that.
But people are complaining that they didn't go for it with 30 seconds left with 2 timeouts left.
Which is another thing we'll talk about later, because a lot of people are comparing that to the Atlanta situation, who got the ball back with 31 seconds and went all in.
But
Atlanta needed the win.
Completely different scenario.
Atlanta was also indoors.
Not even that. They had to drive to win the game.
Yeah, but
how many times they're like, alright, we'll take this to overtime. It happens every week. Whenever there's an overtime, more times than not. Mm-hmm. Alright, let's just play for the coin toss. We'll hopefully win. We'll drive it down their throats and win the game. They just like, alright, let's just get the coin toss. It's 100% what it was. And you can't compare the two, because what happens if, okay, hypothetically speaking, which could have happened, wouldn't you rather go to overtime, have a chance to win, or hypothetically speaking, Peyton throws a pick because he doesn't feel right? You better off just taking the knee. They're going to the OT. And it took 2 overtimes anyway. So the people need to stop overreacting about that play and comparing 2 games when everybody knows it's 2 different scenarios. Drove me nuts this whole entire week.
Well, on that game, if they go 2 overtimes, your opinion on Tucker coming out between overtimes to practice?
Shouldn't have happened, but
There's no rule saying he can't do that.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's all good.
It's like in baseball. Guy gets hurt. Johan's perfect game this year. Mike Baxter goes into the wall.
Yeah.
He's down for a while. Johan is allowed to throw a couple pitches.
Yeah.
Same exact situation.
Yeah.
It's not like he delayed the game to go out there.
Not at all, because if you remember correctly, he just kicks the game-winning field goal.
It was between quarters. Teams were getting water. They weren't doing anything. You're allowed to go out there and practice a field goal.
Yeah.
No rule against it.
Don't see it every day, so it shouldn't really be. But it was another great game, though. Epic. Oh, how were we forgetting the luckiest player of the game? Aid the season that saves the Ravens. The game tire.
Jacoby.
What is that DB doing?
It wasn't the DB, it was the safety.
He's a DB, right? Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is he doing?
He's waiting for that ball.
He misread it completely, and it just fell on Jacoby's hands. Like, what you're taught, you've got to be as deep as your man. And what? Just what are you doing? That's just heartbreaking. If that was the Giants, I would cry.
That was when you knew
the Ravens
won that game.
And Ray Lewis crying, thanking God. I was like, come on.
You know what? He said it the best. That's why they played the game. 9-point underdogs won that game.
Oh, of course.
And, of course, I know he never will listen to the show, but shout out to Peyton. Great sportsmanship. Waiting almost an hour and a half after the game.
That's Peyton.
Right. That's Peyton.
I'm sure you have too. It's on NFL and the Network and ESPN for a whole bunch of years. Peyton handwrites letters every year to players that retire.
Yeah.
And saying thank you, how much he appreciates them for contributing to the game. Because I remember the year Curtis Martin and a bunch of others retired the same year. They had a whole piece that Peyton handwritten every letter to them saying how much they meant to the game and how much he appreciated it. So that's pretty much his moment with Ray Lewis.
Peyton Manning is what every sport needs.
Oh yeah, he's the ambassador.
He's that one guy that every sport needs. And some people think he'll be a coach when he retires.
No, he's going straight to TV.
He's going into TV. He's got to. There's going to be a network that's going to love to have him because there's nobody who can probably break a game down better than him.
No, he's a machine when it comes to that. He's going straight to TV.
The other game Saturday night. Welcome to the NFL officially, Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah. That was great job by Colin. I didn't see that in him.
I didn't see that at all. I did not see that coming.
Honestly, though, I blame the punt returner on the Packers. Because what happened was it was 14-14, and he muffed the punt on their 10-yard line, and the Niners started. Once from that moment, the game was over. What was amazing for me is how hot and resurgent that Crabtree has been since Kaepernick has come in to be the starting quarterback.
Well, yeah. You're going to see Crabtree in camp next year. Crabtree has never been in camp. Have you noticed since he's drafted, he never goes to camp?
Yeah.
Or he's always, quote-unquote, hurt in camp?
Yeah.
But you'll see him in camp next year.
It's really, truly amazing how he was such a boss that no one wanted to give him a shot. He was lazy, X, Y, and Z. He never wanted to show up, like you mentioned. Now he's finally...
And the way the game started, alone, for Kaepernick. Third play of the game.
Yeah.
Threw a pick. Pick 6.
What's the scary thing is, which needs to be done, is the Packers need to get a better D.
Which is scary because...
Yeah, they still have a bunch of holes.
Oh, yeah.
But they have their core of guys. But if they stop them, if they played any D at all that game, they would have ended up winning. Because Aaron Rodgers still had a good game.
Rodgers was insane. He was 257, 2 touchdowns, 26 completions. I saw a mock draft. Mel Kiper. No, somebody else's mock. And they had Monty Ball falling to the Packers.
That would be a good pick.
Mel Kiper Jr. had him going to Cincy, which would be him and Cincy. Yeah. But you know what? The NFC North always had the problem of offensive line also.
Oh, that's another thing. They need an offensive line badly.
They never drafted offensive line because they always had Favre running around in a circle and just throwing the ball up there. Rodgers needs protection. If Rodgers is protected and has the time, he'll throw 60 touchdowns a year.
Oh, absolutely.
No matter who's on his team. He's in that class of Brady and Manning and Breeze, where you could put basically any receiver around him, and he's going to have a great game. And he'll throw touchdowns. He'll throw 3 to 4 touchdowns.
You know what's sad? You're probably going to see. That was the last time that Greg Jennings is going to be on the Packers.
Alright.
And Donald Driver, which is sad.
Yeah. Well, Driver, they think is going to retire.
Well, yeah.
Jennings is going to go look out for money, but not get any.
Yeah. We'll see about that.
Back to Colin Kaepernick. 263 passing yards, 181 rushing yards.
I'm finally a believer. It took me this.
He broke...
And another thing. He is ice cold. Because how many times have you seen a inexperienced quarterback throw a pick 6 in his first pass and shit the bed the rest of the game?
Oh,
all the time. That shows me a lot. Let's just screw it. Alright. So 59 minutes left in the game.
He is the perfect definition of the Tom Coughlin motto. The next play is the most important play.
Yeah. Of course, you see what he did.
I mean, like, if you really want to think about it, what does he have to lose? Nothing. That's what he's really thinking. That's how he plays. He's got nothing to lose.
And with, unlike the other mobile quarterbacks, well, other than Cam, he's big enough to take the hits.
Yeah.
And he has a bullet on an arm.
Yeah. So and he's a smart quarterback. He's not going to run unless he has to. Like other quarterbacks, like a Vic. If one guy's not open, he's running. And which is a lot with the running quarterbacks. One guy's not open, you're running. Him, look downfield, keep looking downfield. When the trouble starts, that's when he throws the balls. Him and Russell Wilson are the same type of player.
We'll get to Russell in a bit.
That was actually 181 is the most all-time rushing yards by a quarterback in a game. Not just playoffs, just quarterbacks.
4 touchdowns.
Did you think of? Did you see the letter he wrote himself in 5th grade?
Yeah.
About wanting to play for either the Packers or the Niners one day.
Yeah, let's say.
It's one of those like, really?
Yeah, you couldn't set it up better than that.
The next game is the Russell Wilson
versus the Falcons.
Well,
it was a tale of 2 halves. The first half, once again, the Seahawks gave up a big lead.
They screwed themselves out of points also at the end of the first half. They had the ball on the 7, they took a sack, and then
pissed me off.
Nobody got to the line.
No, that was 2 times. 4th down, they gave the fullback the ball instead of Marshall Lynch or any sort of play action instead of taking the points. That was... What are you doing, Pete? Like, let's just not give our star running back the ball, but we'll give the fullback the ball. That was just scratch your head. And when they direly needed points at that situation. I don't mind them going for 4th down, obviously, but you could have picked a better play than that. Or have some sort of bootleg trying to get Russell Wilson outside and, maybe I run it or just flick it over to the tight end. But, I don't know. I thought they could have picked a better play.
A bunch of times they could have picked a better play. But then they came out for the second half. In
the second half, they took care of business.
First drive.
The Falcons shat the bed.
27 lead. 27-7 going into the 4th quarter. You need to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
Without any trouble.
Nope. Then that happened.
Yeah.
Then epicness happened. They tie the game.
And that was when you thought that Matt Ryan will never win a playoff game.
Oh. Well, I was hoping that.
Part of me, after Lynch scored that touchdown, part of me said, I want Matt Ryan to do this.
But I don't.
But it's just,
too epic of a comeback.
Seattle's story was just too...
Yeah.
Plus I wanted Seattle-San Francisco.
Yeah.
So, another rematch of those guys would have been great. Especially because they're basically two of the same teams.
Yeah.
Big defenses with running quarterbacks who could throw. But Matt Ryan, 2 plays I think it was, got him in field goal range.
Yeah.
Matt Bryant.
Oh, well, don't forget, Carroll called Isom.
Called timeout / didn't want to call timeout.
No, he did. Then, people are not realizing the whistle blew before the snap, so Brian knew it, and he just wanted to stretch his leg out, and he missed completely.
Well, like they said, if you ask a veteran kicker, he loves when the coach does that.
Yeah.
Because it gives him a warm-up shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt Bryant knew exactly what to do on his kick. It's better. The younger guys, on the other hand, who don't take those shots and just stand there, those are the guys who screw up.
Absolutely.
It was a good game. Especially when you stop watching at halftime. And then you get messages, oh my god, I can't believe this is about to happen. Let me ask you.
Yeah.
If the Falcons lose this game, big comeback, is Mike Smith the head coach next year?
Yes.
Even though he's 0-4 in the playoffs?
Yeah.
Mike Smith's still the head coach?
Oh, if they lost that game on Sunday. Probably not. But
you had to think it was going to be one of those, we're going to bring in a coordinator, like a guy who got fired, like Lovie Smith type guy, and you're going to bring him in, and it's basically all or nothing for the coach next year. Because you were the number 1 seed.
Very much.
And then the final game, which is probably, was the worst game out of all of them. The Houston Texans, and 0% chance of winning.
Pretty much. I had, like I said the Pats were going to cover and win. It was another year fell short for the Texans. That I thought they were going to have a shot this year, but
if they didn't struggle,
yeah, they hit a wall. The Patriots are on a mission, and like I said for the last couple of weeks, the Pats are on a mission. And the Pats took care of business. Unfortunately for the Pats, Gronk broke his hand again. That just shows that he wasn't ready, but he was trying to play.
But The advantage they have this year compared to last year
is they're used to it because he missed
those games in the season. It gave them some time to work out an offense without him. So that was very beneficial to them. Welker had a big game.
Yeah.
8 for 131.
He had that nasty one-hand grab, which was sick.
And Vern was 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And Patriot running game showed up as well.
Yeah, that's always amazing.
And of course Brady just was Tom Brady. It's not even that Schaub had a bad game.
No,
they ran into the Patriots.
Yeah.
That's all it came down to. Ran into the Patriots. So, the Patriots will be hosting another AFC Championship game against the Ravens. The Falcons will be hosting the Niners. Alright, welcome back to the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Like you guys know, you were just listening to With a Vengeance by Divisional 1.1, the title track off the latest album out of them. Championship weekend. The NFC is going to play at 3, AFC at 6:30, or after the first game, of course. The first game is going to be the Niners at the Falcons. Does the Kaepernick magic continue? Or does Tony Gonzalez get his chance at a ring?
Nope. Niners are going to win.
Niners
They're on a mission for the sure fact of last year. If 2 punt returns were handled properly in the rain, they would be in the Super Bowl playing the Patriots. This is what I'm very intrigued for this weekend, for the sure fact of 3 teams, well, all 4 teams actually.
They're on a mission.
They're on a mission, and 3 of them lost to the G-Men. FYI. All 4 of them are on a mission. Their season all ended shitty.
All 3 of them lost in the year 2012. Also. Patriots lost last year in the playoffs, 2012.
Oh, yeah.
And then the regular season this year. Niners lost 2 2012 games.
Yeah. It's very, like, they're all on a mission, but which destiny, per se, comes through at the end? Like, for example, the Ravens have Ray Lewis. Does he play another week in the Super Bowl and end his career in the Super Bowl?
Well, did you see that in Boston there's a billboard with the countdown to Ray Lewis's retirement party?
Yeah. But I've also now have him doing his dance. That's one aspect of the things. Well, we see Ray Lewis for another game.
Will we see Tony Gonzalez for another game?
I was finishing up the matchups. We'll get to that. How does Tom Brady's legacy and Belichick's legacy, since coming off with 3 Super Bowls to start off, now it's 3-2, and doesn't finish off the chance of getting to another Super Bowl this year?
Well, think about this. They haven't won a Super Bowl since Spygate.
Yeah, but with Spygate, everybody uses tapes, everybody does scouting reports. It's a little different. What's his face was a whistleblower because he was a bitch, and the Jets lost to them, and he was just being a baby. So that's another thing. The Patriots want to protect home field, and after last year with the Ravens, how can we forget it? And the chip shot from Kondo.
Twice they won that game, the Ravens. Lee Evans had the ball in the end zone, dropped it,
yeah,
finishing his turn. And then Cundiff missed the chip shot.
The Pats just have unfinished business. Because how easily us as Giant fans give the Patriots shit. Those 2 Super Bowls were done by at least one epic play to save the Giants' bacon. The Giants, the Pats are literally a minute away from winning 5 Super Bowls. If it wasn't for the Giants.
100% right.
And the Pats are on that mission. That's why it's going to be a head-on collision and it's going to be epic. And then with the NFC, you have Tony Gonzalez, who's finally won a playoff game, and he might retire. And Matt Ryan, his best year arguably as a pro, and Julio Jones and everybody, they had just been disrespected the whole entire year. I'm included.
Oh yeah, nobody gave him anything because they didn't play anybody.
No one gave him anything. There's valid arguments both ways. But they haven't been respected all entire year. So that's going to prove a point. Let's go, because I heard this, Kaepernick's the new shiny toy. You know how 2 weeks ago when it was all about RG3? Now it's all about Kaepernick.
And Russell Wilson a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, but we needed that. The media needs that new shiny red toy, and it's Kaepernick. Arguably so. He had an epic game last week, but everybody's overlooking the Falcons again because everybody loves the Niners now.
Right.
So, and then like we said before, the Niners, if it wasn't for 2 punts, they are easily, and a competent quarterback, my ad, they could have been going to the Super Bowl last year, so they have unfinished business. So it's very intriguing storylines right now.
I'm going to tell you who I want in the Super Bowl. Ravens, Niners. And I'm going to tell you why. I want Harbaugh versus Harbaugh. Coach versus coach. Brother versus brother. And I want what I think is the early part of the decade of defense, who's now disintegrating, becoming old, and losing his touch, to face off against the future of the NFL's biggest defense, the Niners. Because I think it's basically 2001 through 2010 was the Ravens.
Yeah.
And now 2011 on is going to be the Niners.
I can see that.
And I would love to see those defenses go after each other.
All I gotta say is, if the Ravens do end up winning the Super Bowl, I hope they win, not because of Ray Lewis, I could give 2 shit. There's a few other guys.
Ed Reed.
Ray Rice. Ed Reed just missed the first Super Bowl. Ed Reed deserves that Super Bowl almost more than anybody. Maybe Tony Gonzalez is a little bit above Ed Reed and he deserves it more, but he deserves it, and I've always loved Ray Rice, even in his years at Rutgers. Just is the man.
New Rochelle guy.
Yeah.
At Rutgers. But I saw an interesting story on the coaches. Did you know that their dad, who was a head coach, actually gets film every week from them and studies the film from them? There was a thing, I think it was on SportsCenter.
Oh, and you're also forgetting, if you want the Ravens-Niners Super Bowl, how can you forget the Hobart Bowl?
Yeah, that's step one. That and the defenses.
Yeah.
Because I want to see what happens with their dad and getting film. Is he going to help them both out, or?
That would be fun to see.
They had one of the better Thanksgiving evening matches a couple years ago. Yeah. Only played each other once.
The Niners didn't show up though.
They also both said that every Monday they're on the phone with each other, talking about things that they each saw to help each other out. Are they going to talk to each other about this game if they play each other? Now, Brady, did you know, has the worst drop back to interception ratio versus the Ravens for a quarterback over 100 passes.
Yeah.
One out of every 33 passes
they
he
get
throws.
at it, but that's still amazing.
Yeah, 1 out of every 33 passes that he throws against the Ravens is picked up. The key's pressure on Brady. Get pressure on Brady. Throw off their no-huddle offense. Confuse them. And you can beat the Patriots. The Giants have shown it. Pressure on Brady. Slows down the offense. Stops the Patriots.
But this year, what I like out of the Patriots is they have a stable running game.
Yeah.
That helps Tom for so much. And I don't know. I want to see the Ravens win, but something about them. Something about the Pats.
It's just you want the Ravens to win, but you're still hurt from 2000.
No, it has nothing to do with 2000.
They're both very interesting matchups this week. Can the Falcons stop Kaepernick? Which I think no.
No. It's I have this Niners going for it, or all going to the championship.
Niners by 4 is the bet.
Yeah.
You taking the 4?
Yeah.
You can take the 4. Yeah, I can see them. I can actually see that being a blowout game.
They're not getting blown out at home.
I can see one of those, like the Cardinals game earlier.
They're not getting blown out at home.
I can see it. Winning by a touchdown.
If you catch me right now, that's not a blowout though.
Touchdown, late touchdown, to make it not look like a blowout.
Oh. Right now, we're recording on a Thursday night. I think the Niners are going to win and cover, but it's not going to be a blowout. They're just a better defense. Their DBs are going to be able to contain Roddy White and Julio Jones as best as they possibly could.
That and I just feel like right now they're just the better team. The other game, of course, is the Ravens-Patriots. 6:30. It's going to be chilly. A little warmer than Denver, of course. New England by 9.
Another disrespect. I'm going...
Gotta take Ravens to cover.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really think the Ravens are winning this game. I just think there's just no quit in that team. There's no quit in that team.
Yeah. They're on a roll. Like, every team has that magical moment in that Super Bowl run.
Mm-hmm.
That was last week's win against the Broncos was the Ravens moment.
Oh, no question about it.
Can they propel that? And after last year, in the same spot, how heartbreaking that loss was.
The key is that they have Ray Lewis, and he's going to be able to keep them. Because a lot of people are saying early in the week, how can the Ravens get back off that such emotional win?
Yeah. Well, they easily can, because
Ray Lewis won't let them get to their head. Ray Lewis is the perfect leader to go into this game. If he hears anything about the Broncos game, he will get in your face and tell you to stop. It's all about the Patriots now. Sunday at 8:30, whenever the Patriot-Texans game was over, Ray Lewis was already focused on them. I think it's Ray Lewis is going to come out. If Torrey Smith and Jacoby Jones can get behind Champ Bailey and the Denver defense, they're going to run all over. They'll be all over the field.
Yeah, the Pats secondary is shit, so it's all up to Joe Flacco and their offense putting points up.
And Ray Rice keeping Brady off the field.
Mm-hmm.
I can see the Ravens coming out. They're going to come out going short. They're not going to come out looking for the bombs all game, because that's what the Patriots are expecting, and that's what Belichick's playing for. He's going to make Belichick adjust into a short defense to bring the safeties up so that you can go deep.
I think they're going to finally do it.
The Ravens,
you can't. It has the storybook finish. It after all the shit they've been through the last 2 years.
It's time.
That's what they've been waiting for, per se. Every workout during the summer, every extra push-up, every extra punt, every extra catch, every extra bench press, everything they did extra was to get to the Super Bowl after that heartbreaking loss against the Patriots. The Patriots had no business winning that game last year. Zero.
No. It's going to be a fun weekend.
It's going to be. I'm going to take the Ravens win, and I'm taking the Niners. It's going to be a whole ball, and that's going to be fun of a whole media week of two brothers going at it.
2 weeks.
No, that's what I'm saying. Well, the bye week. Yeah, 2 weeks of it.
I'm really excited for this weekend. It's some of the most anticipated games that we've seen in a long time. Championship week. And if the Falcons lost that game last week, it would have been even bigger, because you would have had Seattle and San Francisco playing.
Yeah.
Well, Championship Sunday. Hope you guys enjoy that. Guys, to the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. We're a little different now. We're going to talk a little hockey.
Ooh.
Season starts Saturday after a pain in the lockout. What a waste of a couple months. We're going to do local teams today. Basically, we'll start off with the Devils.
They're Eastern Conference
champions. They did lose their captain, Zach Parise.
Yeah.
Signed a overpriced contract with the Wild for the lockout.
Yep, rightfully so. He wanted to go home. Devils were like, no way, we're not paying that. So
Devils can't even afford that because they give ridiculous contracts to Kovalchuk, who's making billions of dollars a year.
AKA my favorite nickname, the Lazy Russian. Me and my friends, all he does is cherry pick. It's amazing how he is so skilled, but he only plays for offense.
Well, that was the problem. Growing up, he only was taught offense.
Yeah.
He's like the Amari Stoudemire of hockey.
Yeah.
He's only taught one side. And then when he got drafted by the former Atlanta Thrashers, now the Winnipeg Jets, they were an offensive first team. They surrounded him and said, because he was the best player, and said, hey, go out, score 60 goals a year, and run our team. Problem is that he wanted to play for a winner, so they traded him to the Devils, who is for as long as I can remember, probably the biggest snooze fest in hockey. Defense, 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 and he had to learn to play defense, which he still doesn't do. He is arguably one of the best players in the league. He's healthy.
When he's healthy and he wants to play.
Healthy and wants to play, he's one of the best players in the league. The Devils are slowly going to start transitioning their team. As Brodeur gets older, they're going to transition the team into a Kovalchuk team. So you're going to see them starting to get offensive-minded players.
This year's going to be different. It's another year of Marty getting old and almost retiring. Is this his last full... Well, it's not his full year. Is it his last year? And do they have enough time around? They're definitely gritty enough, as you can see in the playoffs last year. They're definitely gritty. They're a very strong team. But are they skilled enough to make another title run?
The key for them is going to be...
Brodeur.
Not Brodeur, but can they replace Parise? Because Parise played all three sides of the puck. He was the heart and soul of playing. He was arguably their most skilled player. 69 points last year, 31 goals. Replacing 31 goals in the NHL is not easy, especially in a short season. And they go up against the Rangers, who have arguably the best goalie in the league in Lundqvist. Yeah. As painful that is to say, I still got to admit it. He's if not the best, top 3 goalies in the league. Honestly,
King.
My opinion, he is one.
Who?
Lundqvist.
Oh yeah,
goalie-wise.
he is the king.
He's number 1 in the league. There's nobody even close to second, and he's going to take over the role of Marty Brodeur for the goalie everybody looks for. Jonathan Quick, maybe, out of LA, you might argue is number 2 after his playoff run. But there's a lot of guys out there. Devils need to replace Parise.
Yeah, that's going to be hard. He was the captain. They made Salvador the captain today. Who
nobody likes being the captain. Shouldn't have the C. Isn't a C guy. They have guys. Clarkson plays all 3 sides of the puck. Gianta, Elias is there. You could even give him the C to Kovalchuk. He's done it in Atlanta.
Yeah, Kovalchuk doesn't deserve it. If anybody, it should have been Elias, but clearly he doesn't want it because he easily, without a doubt, would have had it by now.
Well, Elias, he's an older guy. They don't really expect. He was the C.
Yeah.
Right before Parise came.
Yeah.
He didn't enjoy it. He was like when Kenny Hansen had it for the Islanders. Yeah. It wasn't a good fit.
Absolutely. True.
I personally think that David Clarkson, Kelly Clarkson's brother, by the way, should have had the C. Plays all 3 aspects of the puck. He's a hitter. He throws his body around, and he leads by example. He's one of those tough guys who just stands in front of the net, gets his goals, gets his points. He plays all around hockey. He's a loud guy on the bench also. He's one of those guys you want having the C on your team. Honestly, old goaltender is going to hurt them. Johan Hedberg will play a lot of the game. 48 games. You'll probably see Hedberg in 20 to 25. Devils are a team that think they're going to make the playoffs every year. But to be totally honest, I don't see them as a playoff team this year. Top 10 maybe, but I don't see them in the playoffs this year. They're going to just miss it by a couple points. Too many other teams in the East.
Yeah, it's...
You got to realize Pittsburgh's fully healthy. Philly's coming back another year. You got Tampa Bay with Stamkos. You just have too many teams that are better than them, basically, in the East, so...
But
I don't see them making it.
There's the thing. You can never count out Marty. You can never. Remember 2 years ago when they had the worst start ever?
Yes.
And they made an epic comeback. They just fell short, but that's the thing. As long as they have Marty and net, they're always in reach.
The key is that the Rangers are better than last year, who should have went to the finals. The Flyers are better than the Devils, in my view. Pittsburgh, Boston's better, Buffalo's better. So that right there is 5 teams. That's 5 teams right there that are better. Montreal and Florida are teams that can be better. Tampa Bay is better. Washington is better. I just don't think the Devils have the firepower to win enough games to make the playoffs in a short season.
Yeah.
It'll be fun to watch for them. Next we're going to talk about the Rangers.
Rangers. It's all or nothing this year. After last year winning the President Trophy, just all their firepower, arguably having the best goalie in Henrik. They bring Rick Nash into Broadway.
They steal Rick Nash from the Blue Jackets, basically.
Well,
it was a steal of a trade. Not even going to go into that.
But that's how it is now.
The problem with the Rangers, though, is that they lost. They have the D. They actually have a really good underrated defense.
But
the loss of Brandon Prost.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt. But it's gonna be more Doobie. But the two of them being no longer on the Rangers is gonna be rough for the Rangers. But they have their firepower is gonna be just ridiculous with Rick Nash and Gabrick on the same line with probably Richards as the center or Callahan. Either or could set them up. Their defense is solid with Girardi and McDonough.
The Rangers have a good defense.
And Stahl. Their D is very underrated. At moments, they have brain farts, as you can see.
Everybody does.
The interesting thing is that I'm looking forward to see, since I'm going to be watching a lot of Rangers this year, I'm not going to lie, since they're going to have my attention. I'm excited to see what Chris Kreider does. He came on very, very hot for the Rangers in the playoffs. He had a couple moments of brain farts, but of course, a rookie who's never played a game in the NHL until the playoffs is going to make. I also another player I like on the Rangers who gives everything he has is Brian Bola. He's a scrappy guy. He's going to obviously fill the void for what Brandon Prusk was last year.
Well, they were a tandem.
Well, they were a tandem.
They were quote-unquote partners in crime.
They were.
They're actually relying on Aaron Asham to possibly take that spot.
He will.
I don't see Asham being the type of guy.
The thing is, Prosk, he's still somewhat skilled, but he can mix it up when he wants to. The thing is, Aaron Asham's just a fighter, which on now their fourth line is gonna be Asham and Rump and whoever they decide to play center.
And probably Boyle. You throw out Rump at center. Rangers are going to be an exciting team this year. Mark Stahl's healthy. You have McDonough, Girardi. Delzato just signed a nice contract.
That was a nice contract for Delzato.
I mean, it's only 2 years, Ranger fans, so you got to hope at that point, in 2 years, Grabnik won't be on the team.
Who?
Marian Gaborik will not be on the team. I think he's only got, a year left on his contract. Hagelin and Kreider are going to be fun to watch. Which one of the two are going to get top 6 minutes?
It's going to interchange because with Hagelin, he can play the power play. It's pretty much, you know who's going to be the top 2 lines. It's going to be the Gaborik, Richards, and Nash line. Then you're going to have Callie you're gonna have Cali, then
Kreider,
and don't forget what's his face. I'm drawing a blank.
Stefan. I'm gonna tell you right now.
Dark Stefan.
You won't see Richards, Nash, and Gabbert together.
Yeah, because you're gonna break them up. But in a perfect world,
that's gonna be their power play line with Callahan on the point.
Yeah. But honestly, as long as it doesn't matter where Callahan's gonna play, he just makes plays. I know a lot of Islander fans are gonna give me flack, but I love Ryan Callahan.
Oh, he's one of my favorite players in the league. One of my favorite players in the league. Actually, a New York boy.
Yeah, upstate.
Rochester.
He gives everything every night. You can't.
That's why he's wearing the C.
100%. I remember watching games in his rookie year, and I'm like to my friend Gerard, he is going to be the captain of the Rangers sometime down the road.
He is what every team wants. He just
he's a great
fights.
captain.
He scores goals. He had about 25 last year. Actually, had 30 last year, 29. But the thing, a couple of years ago, Callahan was the difference in the playoffs for the Rangers. It's right before the playoffs. Right before the playoffs started, the Rangers were fighting for a spot.
Yeah.
And he went down and he blocked Zdeno Chara's.
Yeah. Fucking face.
Broke his leg.
Sorry for cursing, but I remember that play.
And that was when you knew he was the next captain of the New York Rangers. That one play.
Yeah.
Rangers are going to win the
East.
Actually, I'm not going to say they're going to win the East, because once the playoffs start, of course, it's anybody's game.
Oh,
but they're going to be
Atlantic.
The one. They're winning the Atlantic. They're going to be the one seed. I can actually say they will probably be another President's Trophy for the Rangers. That's my prediction for the Rangers this year. Now on to the Islanders.
Oh.
This should be fun.
Can we be somewhat fair about the Islanders?
I'm going to give you my honest opinion on the Islanders. This is their year to make the playoffs. They're going to make the playoffs this year. They're a playoff team.
And advance for the first time since '93.
Advance, possibly. They're going to be a bottom 3 playoff team. Or just miss. The Kings were the 8 last year and won the Cup.
I know.
So anything can happen once the playoffs start. Honestly, the Brian Boy signing was one of the best signings of the offseason. He's going to play with Tavares eventually.
Yeah.
They're going to start off with Poso, Molson, and Tavares because of the chemistry.
I like that. I think Kyle Poso needs to be on that line. He's a hard worker, but he needs JT to pick up the slack.
The PA Parento loss is going to be huge for them this year.
Yeah.
The guy was like 6th in the league in assists last year. I'm excited for the Islander season. I think that if they get the secondary scoring and they stay healthy, they're going to be a team to beat this year.
But another thing. Where do you see that secondary scoring other than Molson and Tavares?
Behind that, you're going to see Grabner's going to play better this year.
Well, I hope so.
You're going to see Nielsen's going to have 15 goals, 10 to 15 goals this year.
You think Nielsen's going to have 10 to 15? Well, I could see 10.
10 to 15 goals out of Nielsen this year. No question about it. The key last year with Grabner was that nobody really noticed, but if you watched the game, I watched every moment of just about every game last year. Every time they were on the penalty kill, 2 years ago, the key with Grabner was that the puck would get dumped out of the zone by the penalty killers, and he would just speed down the ice and beat the players.
Yeah.
This past season, defensemen would actually chip him. They would throw their stick out by him and slow him down.
Of course. They scouting report.
Right. But the refs need to make those calls. The Islanders don't get calls. That's the problem. The Islanders will either be a bottom 2 playoff team or a just miss playoff team.
I think they're going to just miss again and fire another coach.
They're not firing him because they're going to show fight this year. They're going to fight it. They're going to be ready. Eventually, Nino Niederreiter is going to be up, and he's going to be a scorer. He's going to be on the third line. He's going to be on the second line. I'm going to tell you right now when they call him up.
They have a shot of being in last place again.
But they don't. There are teams worse than them.
In the division?
In the division?
Yeah, I'm talking about the division.
Yeah, they could beat Philly. Honestly, they could play better than Philly. Philly has 0 players on defense. Their goalie is... He loves Huskies and like
universe.
And he loves the universe.
I think it's going to be another rough year.
I honestly don't think
it's going to be another year with Tavares being so awesome and no one else being able to match it, unfortunately. It's the same shit every year.
If they're going to just miss, like I said, if that's what happens. And what's going to happen is that the Islanders finally, biggest offseason move by any NHL team was the Islanders moving to Brooklyn.
Finally.
Just getting an arena. Because next year you're going to see free agents say, oh, you guys are going to Brooklyn in a couple years. All right, I'll come play with you. I want to play with Tavares. Nobody wants to play at the Coliseum.
No. I don't even want to go to the Coliseum unless I get free tickets.
It's going to be a fun year for the Islander fans. The young guys are going to step up. I'm really excited about them. They're going to have Tavares. You're going to see Molson's going to have another good year. Nielsen's going to play like Nielsen from a couple years ago. Nabokov's going to play well.
Yeah, because it's going to be a short year. DP hopefully gets hurt again. No, I'm kidding.
I actually like what they're doing with him. A lot of teams are buying players out right now, but they're not going to buy him out because they want him to be the 2 goalie while the young guys actually play in the minors, because you don't want to bring up the 18, 19, 20-year-old goalies to sit on the bench and do nothing, which is smart because then you could buy him out over the summer and you can have Nielsen and Poulin up next season. But like I said, Nino's going to be up here middle of the year and he's going to come out flying. His confidence is back. He was hurt all of last year. He's ready to go. I think the team as a whole, they're one of the few teams that went out and just signed guys. They're basically the same team that's been around for a couple of years, except for a few pieces.
Yeah.
So the chemistry on this team is going to be great.
Well, that's the one I'm excited for. Young players becoming a call.
I'm really excited about the team. I think they will make the playoffs or just miss it. Interesting, this is Thursday the 17th. A couple of guys were bought out today. Scott Gomez and Wayne Redden. I was actually asked today what my opinion is on those 2 guys and if I think either of them would fit on the Islanders. They did make a waiver claim today of Keith Coyne, a center. Older guy, veteran guy.
What I'm excited to see is that fourth pick overall that got cut. It's in another... What?
Juniors.
He's still in juniors?
Reiner?
No. The 4th round pick.
The 4th...
we picked up on Hickey?
Hickey.
Huh.
Yeah.
It rhymes with Dickey.
Well, we lost Dickey for the Met fans.
Anyway. It's going to be interesting to see how much... Maybe we strike gold again with another pickup like a Molson and a Grabner per se kind of thing.
Well, one guy... Well, I mentioned 2 guys before. Also, Tim Connolly was put on waivers. Tim Connolly was an Islander. Was traded back in the day.
He was too young and he shouldn't have been out. And, of course, the Islanders suck at that time. And
well, they traded him. That was the other trade. He was the trade for Pekka.
No, I know.
So he got traded. He went to Buffalo. Has lots of injury problems. Not a guy I want on my team. Too many injury problems. Wayne Redden, original New York Islander draft pick. I don't even remember how they lost him. I'm sure it was something silly or stupid by the Islanders. 15 years too late to be an Islander.
Yeah.
Scott Gomez, though, be a guy I would love to watch the Islanders sign. Guy's won a cup. The guy's always healthy. He might not put up the numbers, but he fights. Just because the numbers don't show it on a guy doesn't mean he's not a good hockey player.
Yeah.
He won't cost anything either. So the Islanders are going to be a either bottom 2, bottom 3 team or a just missed 9, 10, 11 seed in the East.
What
Jets are bad. Jets are bad. The Leafs are always bad. The Leafs are going to make the playoffs this year. Even though there's been, since 2004, there's been more lockouts than Leafs playoff games.
Huh. Interesting. They haven't made the playoffs since 2004?
Nope.
Jeez.
You think it sucks being an Islander?
No, being an Islander fan sucks.
Yeah, but they're the capital of hockey.
Yeah.
And they have much more expectations than the New York Islanders.
Yeah, that's true.
That's my opinion on the Islanders this year. They're going to be fun to watch. Yesterday, on the 16th, Dan and I went to a scrimmage. The Islanders played the Sound Tigers. And
it was a waste of time.
Yes and no, because I got to see guys like Ryan Strome.
Oh, well, that aspect of it, the Sound Tigers played really well.
Well, you expected it.
Real game, they would have beaten the Islanders last night. But I blame DiPietro.
I'm not putting blame on anybody from the pro team because they haven't played at all.
I know. But
they've done nothing for the last couple of months. The AHL team needed to win that game because that would have been terrible for their confidence for a bunch of guys who've been playing.
No, they would have.
They've been playing and they've been playing well.
With confidence. They would have been fine. They would have been like, oh, okay. That's what we gotta work on. Be there eventually. Nino was the best player on the ice last night by far. Too bad he's still gonna start the season in the minors. He clearly showed that he belonged with the Islanders on that nifty goal last night.
The key is that there's a couple of guys the Islanders are still looking at, and that's why he's gonna stay in the minors because they don't want to put him on the fourth line.
Yeah,
like
last year was such a waste.
He was hurt most of the year. He was also on the fourth line all year.
Yeah, that if you're gonna play him, you gotta keep him in the minor leagues. If you're not gonna give him significant minutes.
That's why Ryan Strome got sent back to juniors.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it was either
next year he'll be the second line center. Next year will be the year the Islanders make the playoffs and hopefully make noise like they did in 2000. That's already 12 years ago. The 2001, 11 years ago.
Yep.
Sad. That was the last time of legit. We have a shot in making noise.
I'm really excited about hockey season. We'll be at the game on Saturday, so
yeah, you'll be.
If you're there, feel free to stop by, talk a little hockey with me. I'm willing to talk about the league. A lot of people have been surprised about how much I actually followed during the lockout. It's a sport I love, so I followed it.
Yeah, it's a fun sport. If the Islanders ever become a competent team again, which hopefully with moving to Brooklyn does, it'll get me more excited about hockey. Well, the Islander aspect of things.
Right.
Since I've been a fan since '96, they've been an absolute joke.
So you're taking blame?
No, not at all. Not at all. Because they haven't won a playoff series since '93.
That's right. They got swept in '94.
The '95 was a lockout. Half season, they didn't make the playoffs. Then I became a fan the same year with the fish stick logo. That hex amount of years until the finally making the playoffs, 2001. Then Darcy Tucker ripped out Mike Pekka's dirty knee. That was fun. And then, rest is history. So, hopefully, with a lot of shitty management and trading players because they don't want to be here or anything stupid like that, it's hopefully one of these days the Islanders fans deserve what they get. And I give credit for people. I've been slacking the last few years. I'm getting tired of it. I'll be the first to admit of the BS. But like the real fans, like Steve, who's been there every moment of every shitty moment he's been there. I'm starting to get tired of it, to be honest. But hopefully one of these days they proved me wrong and they finally step up. But they have the young core that I appreciate and like, but it's still just the same shitty organization year in and year out, and it's just enough. And I know Steve agrees for the most part, but
yeah, I want to go and enjoy my time and
I enjoy going to games with Steve, but some games it's why are we even here? It's just like last year we saw them lose to the Bruins. They gave up 10 goals. Really?
That we saw they gave up 10.
Yeah, 10 goals. Why are we even here now? They make the Mets look like a championship team, franchise-wise, and that says a lot. And the Jets.
With the move to Brooklyn, I'm hoping that it's going to give them a little more recognition in the world of sports. They deserve it. They need it. I'm really excited about the future of the team and what's going to happen from here. At this point, I got to go all the way to Brooklyn to see them play, but it's better than watching them on TV while they play in Quebec or Kansas City. Hockey season is going to be fun. It's going to be one of those years where you need the chemistry to gel quickly to succeed this year. 48 games.
It's a sprint, not a race this year.
Right.
Marathon.
You need a win 8 out of your first 15 games to have a legitimate shot at doing anything in the NHL this year. The Islanders have a bunch of young guys that it's going to be fun to see. Eventually, they're all going to make their way up here. They got the core together. I do see Mark Streit not making it through the season as an Islander.
Probably not.
It is a contract year. The only way he is there is if they are already in the playoffs type thing when the trade deadline comes around, which is the beginning of April, which is the final month of the season, unless they're trading him for draft picks to a team that needs a defenseman. So the Islanders are going to be fun to watch this year. They're going to be competitive, and that's what matters. Also, what killed them the past couple of years is the month of November.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no November in hockey this year, so.
The Islanders have been notoriously a better second half team. And we're approaching around that time of year.
2 years ago, they actually had the best record in hockey in the second half. And they only by one game, and the team behind them won the Stanley Cup that year, the Bruins. Just take out that 1 month of crap. That's all they got to do. I'm excited for hockey.
It's going to be fun. But will the Islanders finally make it worthwhile?
Welcome back to the Sndpodcast show on the Schmuck Sports Network. Like you guys, just a quick reminder, you just heard With a Vengeance by Divisional 1.1, the self-titled track off their latest album. Check it out at cdbaby.com. Interesting story coming out this week about Manti Te'o, and I'm going to pass it off to Dan now and let him say what he wants to say.
Well, as everybody knows, Manti Te'o, quote unquote, had pretty much faked having a dead girlfriend and everything like that, or it was hoaxed. By the minute, it got stranger and stranger, and I don't know where to believe. Like, when I first heard the story, when Deadspin brought it out, I was like, there's no way that your captain of the defense, arguably was the best player on the team. He's won numerous awards this year. Too bad the season didn't end the way we wanted, but pretty much the fiber of this season, how hard Notre Dame fought every week because of Manti being a quote-unquote warrior, carrying on his shoulders of the death of his grandma and his quote-unquote girlfriend 2 days after. When you hear that story, it's ridiculous, and what ridiculous odds that when maybe. That's where people get that one, maybe. But this is where it gets tricky. Like myself, I end up watching Notre Dame and UND.com is an awesome website. It's Notre Dame's official website, and they have weekly. When Notre Dame's home, they'll have the pep rally and everything like that. So that week I turned in on the pep rally because I wanted to see what he says, everything like that. Dude's breaking down, crying, and everything like that. And he's saying how much he loves Notre Dame, and God, that's the reason why he's happy God brought him there, quote unquote. Fine. But how do you have to be the sickest human being to use someone's death and someone not even alive and make a story out of it? And I'm just praying that just Manti Te'o just got hoaxed and someone played a cruel joke on him. Like, it's difficult. Like, he would have to win the Academy Award for acting this whole entire year.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was Francesco brought it up, or Joe and Evan. The first time that he's supposed to speak is at the Combine.
Yeah,
and it's a non-obligated press conference that every player gets. All the quote-unquote first-round guys are supposed to get. My opinion is
he should do it now.
He needs to come out right now. They showed him on SportsCenter. Actually, before I came here, I saw it. They actually have video of him driving around in a golf cart in Florida where he's training for the Combine. He needs to come out right now, and he needs to say what he's got to say and tell everybody the truth. Because what he does now, if he comes out and tells the truth, will affect, depending on what it is, of course. But if he does the right thing and says the truth, that will affect him in the NFL.
What really breaks my heart, because I watched his whole 4-year career, and he seemed, obviously I had never met Manti Te'o, obviously, but he just seems to be one of the most stand-up human beings on the face of the planet. I can't fathom to think that he faked a girlfriend. It's just crazy. Steve texted me yesterday, that's crazy with Manti Te'o. I'm like, there's no way. And then Steve sent me the article, and I'm like, this cannot be true. It's just me watching him the last 4 years and being what he is for the Notre Dame student body and what Notre Dame represents. And for that to be pretty much a lie for one crazy joke on someone played on him, or him being a part of it, it's just disgusting. There's nothing else to say other than I'm speechless and disgusted, because it couldn't happen to a better human being if we find out that someone played a prank on him.
If someone played a prank on him, this is... that person just belongs in hell.
Yeah.
You don't do that.
Yeah.
You just don't do it. But I don't want to be one of those guys like all these other reporters coming out with their own opinions on it.
Yeah.
I want the truth.
No,
I want Teo to come out, give the truth, and then I'm gonna make my opinion. Because I don't believe that he would make this stuff up. I don't think he's the type of guy who's gonna make this stuff up. Yeah. He just comes off as such a great guy.
That's why it's just unfathomable. You can't even put it into words. Like, people, I know Notre Dame has that feel you either like them or you hate them. And of course, all the Notre Dame haters around the world and the country are just having to feel with this, saying that he did it, or blah blah blah. It's just crazy. If you actually sit down and hear his interviews and watch him on a game weekly basis like I did, it's just hard to fathom. And that sucks for me because he was, I'm not going to lie, he might be one of the best Notre Dame players I've ever watched. And it was pretty much all on a lie. So I hope he comes out and brings out everything. What's going to be big thing in this story is the phone bill.
Yeah, because
that is essentially what it's going to come down to. Is it him actually talking to his quote-unquote real girlfriend, and that's her number? It's just very bizarre, and I hope something gets resolved in this, and Manti has a great pro career, and this is forgotten about.
When you look at Notre Dame, and you think of the amazing history of Notre Dame,
125 years worth.
Now it's at the point where he's actually one of those like players that in 10 years from now, we'll look back and be like, hey, remember when Manti Te'o played for Notre Dame?
Yeah. He 3 years in a row over 100 tackles. This year he led the arguably until the national championship, obviously, one of the best defenses in the whole entire country. He every time Notre Dame needed a pick, he seemed to be there with the interception or the key fumble, yada yada yada. He was that guy for Notre Dame his whole tenure. He was originally going to go to USC, and we stole him from USC. That's what's the amazing thing about it. And it's just a shame. I hope to God that it was a prank and he wasn't a part of it. If that's the case, I'm gonna lose complete respect on Notre Dame and Manti Te'o as a whole.
If he ran this himself, you gotta.
It really hurts to even think about that.
You know what I find interesting? People today were saying that apparently Notre Dame knew and Brian Kelly knew, like right before the championship game, but they didn't want to come out with anything.
Well, that's what the rumor is.
That's what the rumor is, which makes it more interesting that Brian Kelly didn't leave.
Yeah.
Because think about it.
Yeah.
How often do you hear college coach, doing great, NCAA head guys are on campus, college coach goes pro. Just like that. Chip Kelly. Yeah. Like a Chip Kelly.
We're waiting for someone to fall.
Part of me would think that Brian Kelly would, if this is true, and Te'o made it up and Notre Dame knew, Brian Kelly would have left.
Yeah.
And went pro. But he didn't, and he's still there.
Yeah.
So part of me thinks that part's the lie right there, and Te'o didn't know. But like I said, I'm not going to force an opinion until Manti Te'o comes out and all the facts are in.
The other thing I like to say about this is it's crazy. I'm trying to formulate a thought about this. You're an All-American linebacker for one of the greatest college football teams in the country, not overall this year, but ever. You're telling, I know you're Mormon, so you're going to have some strict religious rules. I understand that, respect that, everything's great with that. But you're meaning to tell me that you can't find a quote-unquote real girlfriend? That's the one thing that confuses me about this. You're Manti-Teo, for crying out loud. You don't need to be spending your time on the internet looking for a girlfriend and talking to a girl that might not even be real. And it's just unfortunate, and it couldn't happen to a worse person, as I can see from a far away view.
Alrighty. Well, since we're on the college right now, Chip Kelly did just become the Eagles head coach. Quick rundown. Does his offense work in the NFL?
No.
Do you keep Vic for all that money?
Yes. Well, of course. Yeah. Well,
or
you're gonna draft Geno Smith. Honestly, I don't know. It could work because you see guys like RG3 and Russell Wilson, and
you see that option offense becoming an offense in the pro.
But I don't know. He's new to the NFL game, so it's going to be somewhat adjusting. I think they're going to be good for the sure fact that they're finally going to have a new voice and change of the guard per se. Andy Reid's been there forever, as long as I can remember.
11 years, right?
Longer. Like 99.
12, 11 years.
Yeah, 13.
Yeah, that's right.
They finally got a new blood. And the whole dream team, yada, yada, yada. Next year is make or break. And Chip Kelly, I don't, obviously I'm being biased, and I don't think so. But with Shady McCoy and the prospects of if these two guys can ever stay healthy, Deshaun Jackson and Macklin ever stay healthy, a possibility, and who's going to be that quarterback?
It'll be interesting to watch his offense. See what happens. Anthony Thomas. He's going back to college, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Who's the guy? One of them's coming out. Browner?
I'm drawing a blank at the moment.
One of the Ducks players is coming out. You could see them. I could see Chip Kelly taking a couple Ducks players late in the draft, especially offensive players who know the offense, and he already knows they're in shape to run this offense. That's going to be another key. How many of those offensive linemen on the Eagles can run up there and get to the line real quick?
Yeah.
McCoy runs for 60 yards. The offensive lineman's got to get to the line.
Yeah.
It's not college where every play you get, 40 seconds?
It's the tempo that they had was not unheard of for the NFL game.
Oh yeah. It's too fast. It made the Patriot offense look slow.
Yeah. It was so epic that Bill Belichick came and studied under him this year. That's why I think it can. So much that it can, but then again, it's the NFL. Different speed, everybody's fast.
The key is, can they play defense?
Yeah. They haven't showed it the last couple of years. And Asamoah has become the biggest bust on the face of the planet.
He was never good, in my opinion. I don't even think he was
worth the time.
He was good. He wasn't top dollar. He could do everything guy. Well, that's the show for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed the transition into other sports. Next week being Pro Bowl week, we're going to do a show. We're going to do a Giant off-season preview, a Jet off-season preview, and we'll also talk a little basketball next week. by the time we record next week, the entire All-Star team for basketball should be out. So we'll talk about that and our opinion on it. And guys who made it, guys who should have made it type thing. Enjoy the football this week. Welcome back, hockey. Remember, check out the website, schmucksports.com. Also the music, cdbaby.com. Search Division 1.1. It should be up on Amazon or iTunes soon. I'm still waiting to get an exact time frame from them. And when we get that, of course, we'll pass it along to you guys. Tonight's song was the self-titled With a Vengeance off the CD.
Yeah, it's a very good CD. So if you're into heavy metal, pick it up.
I didn't really think I would be listening to it all the time because I'm really not into heavy metal like they play. But honestly, it hasn't left my car in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Check them out. That's our show for the week. Keep checking out the show. That's the Sndpodcast on the Schmuck Sports Network. Steven, Dan.
Sndpodcast is in no way affiliated with, associated with, produced, or endorsed by the National Football League or any of its affiliates.